So hello everybody, this is American Sequel Predictions, and I'm back with a new video. Since last video, Kamala Harris is going to be the Democratic nominee and Biden dropped out. But let's just get straight to the point. Harris did have a little bit of a bump uh, right after Biden withdrew his candidacy and, Harris declared her candidacy. But if you look at the polls right afterwards, you can see Harris started gaining a little bit traction. And Morning Consult eventually went from Trump +2 to Harris +1. Now, that poll is still as Harris +1, though, but I want to look at, let's see here, Runters, which had Harris +2. Beforehand, I think, they had it tied between Harris. When she announced, now she's at +2, so Harris did see a little bit of a surge, but it's starting to melt a little bit because the most latest poll now shows Harris is still up, but she's only now up by 1. So that 2-point margin went down to a 1-point margin. That doesn't sound like a lot though, but you could tell it's starting. It is her surge is slowly melting now, and you go to active vote, which Real Clear Politics doesn't have these polls on, but you can see they had Trump up by 1 point in the very beginning, and now that margin has gone up to, he had 50.5, and now Trump's at 51.3, and Harris was at 49.5 to 48.7. Now you do have other new polls that are like Angus Reglow, which is, by the way, is Canadian actually, and they had Harris up by 2. We're just going to go see where this poll is, and this poll, let me say, is probably the worst out of the worst, probably for all of them, because this poll, they oversampled Democrats by 6, and they did have a poll before that had Trump up by 7, but they oversampled Republicans by 3. So automatically, there's a 9-point shift just in the voter registration, and they could still, even with a Democrat +6 advantage over Republicans, Trump only loses by 2. That means that 4% of at least Democrats, that means that even with a D+6 sample, Trump can cut into that. Morning Consult basically showed the same thing, but they casually do polls like almost every week. So, their poll was a 1 point. Now they did do some dumb state polls like Michigan is gonna have Harris by 11, but then Pennsylvania, it was with Bloomberg, and they had Harris winning Michigan by 11, and then they had Trump winning Pennsylvania by 4. Like, alright, throw that pollster out. That is not going to happen. And I don't even think I have to explain the rest of the states. They kind of just went as but I think just Michigan and Pennsylvania, like if that happens, I'll quit my YouTube channel. And even if Harris does win Michigan, she's not going to win it by 11 points. It's not even close. I have no idea. They're probably oversampling this one voter. They might even did that in Pennsylvania a bit. There wasn't really that much change from the last time they did the poll. By Georgia was a Trump +1. Now it's a tied now in that poll. But like Arizona, Nevada, she had a bit of a swing to the left a bit. Wisconsin actually went from a Biden +3. Now it's only Harris is only winning by 2. So I mean, it really just depends on the state. Some states are moving in different directions. There are a few circumstances where Harris is doing worse, but for the most part, she is doing better than Trump. But she's still losing nationwide, though. We're not really seeing that big Harris boost like back in 2020. It was like steady throughout the whole race. There were like only a few polls I think had Trump up back in. I can just go back to the polling. I could just go back to the... Now, this is where it gets interesting. Look at all these polls. This is back when Runters had Biden up by 7. Now, actually, compared to some of the other polls, this actually isn't as bad, actually. And you got a few, like SurveyMonkey had him up by 5. So there are a few pollsters that were accurate, but then you have bullshit like USC Dorfstein that had Biden up by like 11 and 12. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but even Rasmussen didn't have Trump up. They had Biden up by 1. Now it seemed, and that was seen as extreme back then, and that was like way Republican oversampled. Well, now Rasmussen's latest poll had Trump up by 7. It is getting a little bit older now, but I don't really know if Rasmussen really does a lot of polls anyway. They'll probably like do like 2 more updates before the election comes in or something. I don't know. So these polls go like in different directions. I know Runter is probably gonna do another up. They'll probably do like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 more updates before the general election, probably, or something like that. Probably even more than that, probably, honestly, because now they're starting to be more recognized now. I saw that this Stephen Colbert had showed the poll of Harris being up by 2. Like, wow, that would have actually been a really good poll if it was back in 2020 for Trump. And now Harris's lead is back down to 1. So I mean, Harris is still doing better, but you can see it's starting to slip from the cracks now, and you might start seeing some more polls that where she'll start to decline even more. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. American Steel Predictions out.